how's that song? Like, I'm not drinking till when the sun goes down. I'm out on a mountain.
I don't know that
Is
song.
is that a country song?
Yeah,
It's
it's all
gotta
over
be.
TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, I'm after
Come on,
tonight.
get with the
I'm,
youngins, Evan. It's TikTok time.
I do see a few TikToks on Twitter, but that's as far as it goes. Some good shit. I will admit. I laughed at funny.
I mean,
I think you just screwed the algorithm by saying shit early on because Mitch had started the sound.
Oh no.
and we are live. Happy New Year!
But I
Yay.
think let's reserve some judgment. I mean, we're only 2 days into 2022. It could be
New
just as much.
Year.
It could be just as much of a shit show as last year.
No. It cannot be any worse because Betty White did not die the day before the New Year. Like that's just. Oh, it was such a sad day. I literally was
Yeah.
watching so much Betty White shit on New Year's Eve that I probably would have never watched if Betty White did not die. And that woman was fucking hilarious. Rest in peace, Betty White. I appreciate everything she's done. She's hilarious. If you want to find something really cool, Mick Womble, that I think you would love, there's a behind the scenes with Betty White, Ryan Reynolds, and Sandra Bullock. Because Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock were in The Proposal together, and Betty White was a co-star in it. And it basically is Betty White like goes next to him being like, Brian. And he's like, my name's Ryan. And she goes, you've been such a great assistant. And I would love to get you some coffee. Get me some coffee. And he's like, well, I play an assistant in the movie Betty. And then she's like, when Betty White says you get her a cup of coffee, you get her a bleeping cup of coffee. and then he goes, well, Betty White, you look like this innocent little woman, but you're just you should suck a big beep. And then he's like, you hear that, everybody? I told Betty White to suck a big beep. And then here comes Sandra going like, Ryan. And then Betty's like crying, going, ooh. And she runs to Sandra going, he reminds me of my grandfather. And then she's like, do you want some tea? Do you want some coffee? And she's like, yes, I want some coffee. Someone get Betty White some coffee. And pulls Ryan aside being like, don't you yell at her. She's a national. And he goes, bitch. And she goes, treasure. She's a treasure. It's like perfect. Oh, it's some great stuff. Betty White's hilarious. Rest in peace.
I feel indifferent to the whole thing.
Have no heart.
She's not a national treasure in the UK. It's not like if
No,
Sir
that's
David
true.
Attenborough
That's
died.
true. I'm sorry. That's true. And we lost a viewer after that whole story. I did it. It was my fault.
Hello, we are Pixel Points. I promise Mitch won't just be regaling people about his videos watching about Betty White. Drink responsibly. Severely broke that rule on New Year's Eve. Paid for it significantly yesterday. Any beers or breweries we might talk about aren't sponsoring us. And we're here to talk about two things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. Woohoo! 2022 is going to be good for you, hopefully.
It might be the next 2008 in games. Like, it's loaded, man.
Yes, and this is why we're talking about what happened last year, or what we were up to last year, because we are going to go through some choices for our picks of various different categories of game. They may not have come out in 2021 because we haven't been in a position to have played all of the games on all of the consoles that came out in 2021. The games that came out, not the consoles. Because still can't get a PS5. But we'll get to that later. Evan, how's things in Japan when you're not inspecting your fridge, getting bored of trying to talk to us?
I got the AirPods in, so I'm hearing everything you're saying.
He was crying in the corner over Betty White. Just give him a minute.
Yeah. I just got back from Kobe. Spent 2 days drinking too much, so this is my final day. I'm gonna take at least one day off tomorrow. So I just I sat around and I watched 3 horror movies back to back to back today. Do a quick rundown, McWomble, very quickly. If you like art house horror, like A24 films, Lamb, that Icelandic film about a couple of farmers who have had trouble conceiving a child, and they're surprised to find out that one of their sheep births a sheep human hybrid, and they start taking care of it. very strange, but I really, really liked it. Another one called Censor, which is it's a UK one that it talks a bit about the video nasties, and it's a woman in the 80s, and she's a censor, going through all these grotesque exploitation films and censoring and cutting them up and stuff for the censorship bureau, and I really like that too. But the third one is the one that I think that you would like. Are you familiar with The Night House?
Yes, I haven't seen it though.
Judging from the horror movies that you at least told me that you enjoyed, I think that I won't say anything about it, but I just finished that about an hour ago, and I really, really liked it. So yeah,
Okay.
day of horror, some beer, everything's good.
Pretentious tosser. I only watch Icelandic art house horror movies.
No, I followed it up with 2 regular films. I tried to balance my horror viewing out.
You made him sound like the German cannibal in IT Crowd.
Matt, what's the temperature in Las Vegas?
It's a great show.
Shit. I don't have it pulled up. It is
7C.
2C actually here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's been freaking cold, and consequently, I did not do any partying for New Year's. The only shots that I was having was cough syrup. So,
Wait, not COVID
Right, you were
though.
sick.
possibly COVID.
Did you get? Oh,
right.
I was gonna say, did you get
that-
tested? But there's no way to get tested because America's all.
I
fucked
did.
up with
I
the
just haven't
testing.
gotten the results back. Yeah, the
Oh.
testing situation here is
Shit.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that libertarians were immune to the virus because you choose to accept it for what it is and just live with it. Mitch, how's things in LA?
Same with Matt. It's been cold. I'm not sick, but it's been cold. It's like it's literally been like 2C. Like literally, my roommates wanted to turn on the heat, and I've been like, not a bad idea. Like, and I'm usually used to the cold. It's been pretty chilly. And it's rained. Now the rain is over, but it's been raining here. For like a week and a half straight, like all through the holidays. Like that's what it's been, which is, for me, I love the rain. So I'm all down for it. But everyone's like, it's LA, it doesn't rain here, it's depressing. And a lot of people said it's rained the most it has been in a while, which it rained a lot more it rained just about the same last year too, when I first moved here to Los Angeles. Oh, sorry, 2 years ago when I first moved here to Los Angeles. Can't believe. Actually, guys, it's January 2nd. This is my actually official 2 year. I came to LA on January 2nd of 2020. It's been 2 years in LA, so wow, crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it, well, are you trying to say that weather patterns are becoming more anomalous and extreme, not because of anything to do with man-made global climate change, but because, I don't know, there are some gay people?
It's the frogs. It's the gay frogs and the water.
It's
the water with the gay frogs. Have you heard that one?
Or it's the royal families all around the world are lizards. Did you see that was on the front page of one of the newspapers in the UK today? Jesus fucking Christ!
Is David Icke back at it again?
Yeah, he must be.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna
now
say,
it's exploded again with the under-20s as
Oh,
being a
no,
conspiracy
coming back?
theory.
I personally like that conspiracy theory. I think it's a fun one.
Because it's so stupid.
Well, the queen is
Catching on.
the queen has lived on, and she is so old. Maybe she is a lizard.
From the fourth dimension, shape-shifting.
Never say anything bad about the Queen, fabulous lady.
Oh yeah, she's
Some of her
she's
sons-
fabulous. Yeah, her son's questionable.
A bit questionable.
I mean, I even seen The Crown, and I would know that they would be questionable, even though it's not 100% like for fact. But even watching it, you'd be like, yeah, I would be a disturbed child if I went through a childhood like that, where my queen basically had to be like, it's my job. I'm sorry. Priorities. Queen.
Yeah, and just to say, I feel sorry for the people in Colorado at the moment.
Oh God, right?
So you have
Yeah.
forest fires in December, followed by 2 feet of snow.
Yep.
Climate change doesn't exist. It's because of gay lizard royal family members.
And it's really great when someone says they're going to do something about a bunch of things, including climate change, and you elect them, and then they go, never mind.
Oh, that's a bit hard.
Yeah. Oh, you give me a bill, I'll sign it. How about you just do it on your own darn time.
Anyway,
You can
and
actually do
no,
it.
no,
Anyway,
no
go
politics in video games.
Sorry,
There's
no
no politics in video games.
It's 2022, everybody. It's video game heaven. Come on.
Evan, beers. Has anyone got beers? You've got beers. I've not got beers.
Okay, I'm not going to drink most of these, but I wanted to show you a quick haul that I got from one of the local places that finally started
Stocking.
Thank you very much. Jesus Christ. Beers. A lot of these I have never seen, and I don't know where they're sold. This is Revision
Ooh.
New England Style Hazy Double IPA, 7.75% and 42 IBUs.
I can't tell what that looks
Did you
like,
buy?
though.
It's like a llama,
Okay.
like a reggae llama.
I thought it looked like a
Got like a-
lion
Looks like a
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Yeah.
lion dragon.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got
like a
wings.
llama.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's a Rastafarian llama. Did you
Yeah.
buy that because that's what you told your students to do before school break?
Yeah, I was just like, yeah. Drink your New England style double IPAs. Fucking rip a bong if you can find it, and yeah, go to town.
And
Do your homework.
break a hole in the paper door.
Yeah, no, do as I say, not as I do. And then this one is from Kyoto Brewery. This is the Belgian IPA 6% Marina. Actually, Her Majesty's friend designed this label. She's a graphic.
You know what? You know
quite cool.
You know what the graphic looks like? It
Yeah.
reminds me of. Remember the show The Nanny?
Yeah.
Oh, with Fran Drescher?
Yeah, it reminds me
Yeah.
of that of the opening cut cinematic for the titles because it was all animated like that.
I thought he was going to say Betty White for a second, so I'm glad he didn't.
Just keep going. And then another
Sorry, Betty
Revision Brewing
White.
Company.
I must say it every 20 minutes.
Sorry, Reno as fuck. This is supposed to. I looked this up on Rate Beer. This is a hazy double IPA. It's really, really highly rated, so I'm looking forward to that one.
How about Reno? Has it be Reno? What about Reno?
It could be a Reno.
Like
as
Leno,
fuck. I don't know
you
what
know?
they're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all high.
Surly Brewing Company from Minnesota. Awesome brewery.
Where in
I
Minnesota?
can't even get this beer. That's a good point. I don't know actually, but I can't even get this beer in Wisconsin. At least when I live there, and they're shipping it to Japan. So this is their coffee bender brown ale, which is really, really good.
Interesting.
And then the beer I'm drinking right now is I picked this up in Kobe just before heading back. This is Rokko beer. Rokko is just a mountain range in Hyogo Prefecture. So we can
like
check
how
off the
clean that
list
is.
of talking about prefectures right off the list. Yeah, it's a very kind of simple, contemporary looking can. This is a West Coast Session IPA, 4.5%. Centennial and Citrus and Simcoe hops. Here's a weird thing though. Can you guys help me out with this? It says established 1997 Kobe, Japan, and then here it says Youth Against Goliath. Goliath?
What? What does that even mean?
I have no. So I looked it up, and Goliath is just another word for Goliath. But the first thing that comes up when you search this on Google is Goliath was a character that Geralt of Rivia fights in the Witcher books. Like, what does it? What does it mean? Youth against Goliath. So I don't know. If you can do some sleuthing and figure that out, I would
Don't
be
read
very,
too
very...
much into it. They're just being pretentious. That's probably why you bought it.
Yeah, like an Annapurna A24 label on the can.
And whilst they go watch some weird Icelandic sheep horror.
It's a slow burn, but you might like it. This is
The question for you, Evan: how much did all of that cost you?
That
These
is
I'm
a
guessing
cost
it's
question.
not going to be expensive. It's not going to be cheap.
I think these cost about $8 to $9 a can.
And how many did you show us?
I showed you. Well, when I went for the, some of this has decreased since New Year's Eve, but I ended up spending about $100 on 10 cans. So like,
Jesus.
it's ridiculous, yeah. Which is why I do it twice a year, maybe. It's just way too expensive, but that's why you always see me drinking Ichiban
Is it
Shigori.
a higher ABV drinks price more highly?
It's weird though. So many. I mean, this is not really a surprise, but I was just curious of how much they would distribute or the ratio between styles of beers in Japan. completely dominated by IPAs on the shelves, even in that craft beer section. So like everything was like 8%. Like I was trying to find beers that were under 6%, and I'm just thinking about what Japanese person is going to be drinking all of these hazy 8.5% IPAs. Like I don't know. But one reason why I did buy these is because I wanted to get my money's worth. If I'm paying $8 for a can, like give me a proper sesh beer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a proper 8.5% hazy IPA. So yeah, I don't know. There were some other ones. I had like a really weird raspberry chocolate smoothie IPA. I just wanted to try it. It was okay, but it's also one of those beers where like you drink it and you're like, why did I buy this? Like I fell for the gimmick. But
Yeah, you didn't even put it on Instagram.
no, I don't even know that account. I don't think I've put anything on Instagram in a year.
No, you haven't.
Yeah. This beer's good though. It's drinkable. I'd probably have maybe 2 before moving on. But yeah, these are all. Oh, and then I do have the. Shit. This is the beer that I get every year to ring in the new year. This is a white IPA from Yoho Brewing, the Fuku 2022 IPA, which is I'm a bit disappointed in, to be honest. I had a few of these on New Year's Eve, but Her Majesty likes it, so she can drink the rest of them.
Nice.
Cool. I am drinking Barzine Brew, which was invented as a hangover cure for Glaswegian dock workers.
Nice. Does it work?
Not with the amount I drank the other night.
Nothing could cure that.
I desperately
I'm
want
curious.
to try that.
I wanted to see what state you were in at the end of that night. I'm very, very curious because you know you don't give it away and you don't like get wasted on the show like me and Burkhoff do. So I was just curious to see you by the. And when I met you in England when we drank with Kai, you left at a proper time.
Yeah,
I've never really seen. Yeah, would have been interested to see what state you were.
drunk Keith.
Drunk Keith.
Yeah, I remember watching the fireworks. Then my wife and I stayed up and watched some 80s music, and then went to bed at, I think it was about 1:30. And I just felt really tired. And then the next day I woke up and Jesus, I was awful. But I'm over that now. Gee, wow, you've got a lot in your fridge.
Beers at the top. Yeah, there's a lot up there.
Right, I'm guessing that Matt, you've got coffee. Mitch, you've got probably water.
Which before we move on, I do have to, it is the new year, so I have to say this. Bethesda is an amazing studio, and they make such great video games. I was
going to wait and bring it up at some point.
I have a statement prepared, but unfortunately, half the statement I can't read because we're in the new year. So I can only say is part of my little statement I did have, which is, Erebus Jones, I do have powers of persuasion, and don't think I don't remember what you just did to me this year, that I may persuade you to say something that I think you believe, not necessarily I believe, and I think you'll regret it.
Okay, so that's him never coming on the show for a year.
Threats. January 2nd, we're getting threats already.
Yeah, your plan is foiled.
It's not even January 3rd yet. Or no, 5th. Is it January 5th? It's not even January 5th yet. The threats are coming.
Right, so we're going to run through some picks for just a random set of game categories that we want to talk about for 2021. So these are our favourite game, not necessarily games that came out in 2021. Most played, our best surprise, a game we would recommend, and a trophy or achievement we are most proud of, and then finally setting it up, the blandest game that we played.
And then your guys' pitch to Mitch for Game of the Year.
Well, that's got to be easy. It's got to be Forza Horizon 5, isn't it? Well,
pitch it and we'll see.
Did Bethesda release any games last year?
Skyrim. Technically they did, yes.
Skyrim. It's Skyrim.
Right. Does anyone want to start us off by going through one of those categories? Evan, do you want to name...
Most bland.
Most bland. Okay.
Yeah, I want to go most bland because I just played one recently and I'm like, ugh.
Are you going to say
that's
Halo? Halo Infinite.
No, it's not Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite actually was a pretty good game this year. I did finish it. Story was bland, but the rest of it is good.
Yeah.
Combat I really, really liked. And the open world was bland. But it's not most bland. You know what's most bland? The gunk.
Really? A lot of people are
Was
playing
it?
that right
That
now.
sucks.
Yes. The gunk is most bland. And I give that award due to the fact, okay, the story is it's just as entertaining as actually maybe slightly more entertaining than Halo. It's got a little more character development. But I think the biggest thing that does it is the gunk mechanic itself. It's a one-dimensional mechanic. They don't evolve the mechanics at all with the gunk. The gunk may transform and do some combat and stuff, but you actually like sucking up all the gunk is the same for the entire game. And they don't find ways of evolving it with your systems to be able to make it interesting. The game is like 6 hours, and to be honest, I only finished it because I was like, I might as well finish it, but I didn't finish it because I wanted to finish it. Most bland game.
It's not even good as a podcast game to just fucking do something mindless while you're listening to whatever.
Not really, because it's just so like. So you see the person sucking up the gunk with their arm. That's the entire game. Like nothing really does. Like there's.
Whoa. There are some light platforming sections.
I was getting there, poor. I was getting there.
Light platforming.
And the platform.
Sign me up for light platforming.
The
please.
platforming is not even good. In the instance of where it's like, it's just not. It's not intuitive. It is like it's someone's first 3D game, and it just shows. I'm done with sucking up gunk. Like give me I can do it for a while, but give me and then the confusing section comes in is there are times where you have to suck up all the gunk to like open up the environment, and all of a sudden like life breathes out, kind of like the Prince of Persia game in like 2013 or something, 2008.
Sands of Time?
No. The Prince of Persia.
Forgotten.
The one that everyone hated, but I thought it was
the
okay.
reboot that had the cell shading.
Yeah. The one,
Yeah.
But it reminded me of that, of once you take out all the gunk, like the environment shoots out and life springs out from this. It was a really cool mechanic at the time. The issue comes into play is there are some levels that you go in where you're not supposed to collect all the gunk, but you don't realize it until you just can't collect anymore, and you're like, why am I not collecting this gunk? And then you're like, no, you're just supposed to push forward and collect, and then stop the gunk from getting. It's just, it's not very good. It's not very good. It's on Game Pass, so I guess that's why I played it. But I ended up unsubscribing to Game Pass in 2022 because there's nothing coming out for a while. So, but it's most bland. It's really, really that bland.
Okay, so the blandest game I played was also on Game Pass.
Oh,
and
wow! Big shots at some Big Phil. I can say things about Big Phil, but Bethesda's a great studio and they make amazing video games.
And it very much turned into a podcast game. It really helped me catch up on all of the NFL podcasts that I wasn't listening to whilst I was working, and that was Crackdown 3.
Oh, I actually did play that this year, but
I can see that.
Gunk took it.
Crackdown 3 is pretty dull. It is a complete time waste. And if it weren't for NFL Today and Pro Football Talk, I would never have finished the game.
Oh, rest in peace, John Madden.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're actively listening to the podcasts and just like on the side the game is kind of doing its
on the side I'm just jumping around this.
That's what I was doing.
Really poorly designed open world cityscape, and you can get trapped in some places where it becomes really frustrating. You've got to go pretty much halfway around the city to get up to a point where you can, and it just makes me think that whoever designed it to be a pain in the arse, not to think, how could it be actually fun for someone to get to this location? And there's you can get trapped in certain areas with these mech things that will just wreck you if you get caught in an area that you can't get out of. The wingsuit that you can pick up is utterly pointless, other than doing the challenges that have been in there. It controls poorly. The driving is worse than the first game. I don't know how you managed to do that.
It should be.
Is it at least fun to collect all like the shiny bits
No.
on the buildings in it?
No.
Then that's you got to cut that. Like Saints Row 4 is an awesome game, but even when you're mindlessly playing it, it's fun to jump around the city and collect all the shiny bits. That's important for games like that.
No, it's not fun. It's annoying.
Yeah, I played it. I played it, and it reminds me exactly of the Gunk, except for once I got about 3 hours in, I realized there's like 20 hours to go, and I was like, not happening. Off. Whereas the Gunk, I'm like, I got 2 hours left. I might as well just finish it.
Matt, do you have a bland game that you've been playing?
I would say Astria Ascending. I don't know if any of you checked that out or were interested in it. It's the side-scrolling JRPG that's like hand-drawn. But that game was just... It was
Evan's
mediocre.
doing some Google searching.
Yeah, it was mediocre on a whole new level. The voice acting was horrible. The traversal and exploration was bland. The combat was okay. Probably the most interesting aspect of it was the combat.
I think it just caused Evan physical pain for some reason.
But,
My head.
This game?
Yeah, it just was not good at all.
Well, it's such a shame, Matt, because this looks like a game that you'd play, and it looks like Dragon's Crown a bit. And then I think you had posted some stuff on Twitter. The voice acting seems horrendous.
Oh my god, it's yeah. I had to turn all the voices down just so that I could get through some of the game, and it didn't.
Oh,
it didn't work.
that game.
Someone.
This is the king. Yes, I am the king. I must go and see the king. Yes, I must.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's so bad. It looks so great too. That's the sad part about this. Like the artwork's quite good.
yeah.
Burkoff reminds me of when you were watching me play Dragon Quest, and I was like, yeah, I'm turning down this music because I want to listen to the Persona 5 soundtrack on top of this instead. And it reminds me exactly of that, being like, this music sucks, turn it down, put something else over it.
If you're listening to the soundtrack of another video game while you're playing a video game, it says a lot about it.
Well, actually, to
It's
be
also
honest,
a very bland title, Astria Ascending.
I was
Very
telling
forgettable.
Burkoff when we were doing it, I was like, man, like the music cues were like right on with the game, so it almost like it was the actual soundtrack, and I was like, damn.
Just pretend, yeah.
Yeah, it was
pretend
good.
that's
It was
the
good.
soundtrack. I think like this game is a great soundtrack. Actually, I've completely done a 180. I'll go quick with mine. I'm gonna kind of merge this with disappointing. I didn't really play anything necessarily bland, but I guess in a way this game was bland. Owlboy. Speaking of a game that has amazing graphics, that just is not fun to play.
Didn't you hype this up last year?
I don't know if I did.
No, you did, and then you played it, and then said, "I'm sorry." Well, did you apologize? I don't think you did.
Because you told Keith to play it. That's right. You told Keith you should play this game because it has an owl in it. I remember. That was last year.
Did you buy it, Keith?
Buy games. I don't buy games. I have Game Pass.
God damn it! I really wish you would have bought it because I could have gotten you back for tricking me into buying that fucking Capcom collection that doesn't have a platinum.
How dare you? That's an amazing collection of games.
Plus,
it is a good one. I'm sad that it doesn't have a platinum trophy.
not only
What's the
Keith
point of
doesn't
playing
buy
a game?
games, his wife buys him the games he won't buy himself.
Yeah,
He's saving money.
Which
Good on him.
you should tell us once you play them, because I do want to hear your opinion on you
Yeah,
got
I'm
Guardians of
gonna
the
finish
Galaxy and Chorus for Christmas.
Chorus, yeah.
Chorves.
Chores. I've been doing my chores today.
Just to wrap it up, it's such a great looking. Like I see this game, it's like, oh, this looks like Metroidvania. They spent 7 years working on it, and it shows in the pixel art. The backgrounds, the character animations, everything looks great. I must have tried 6 times to get into this game, and of course I beat it because I had to. It's just the whole game, like, there's just something about actually playing it that I was a complete miss for me. So in terms of the gameplay, it's more disappointing than bland, but the gameplay is bland enough that I bounced off it several times before. But it's a shame. It's a shame because I hope their second time around is a better game because they have people there that can make games look absolutely beautiful. So I hope it plays better, whatever their next project is.
Somewhat style over substance then.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
All right.
So
What do you do? We go around and we vote for someone else's that isn't ours?
I wasn't necessarily disappointed in Crackdown because I knew it was going to be shit. Well, it's not shit. It's a playable video game. So
mine goes to Burkoff's for the voice acting.
It's virtually unplayable because of that.
Okay, I'll agree.
I couldn't get through a single cutscene.
I'll go with that.
Most bland game goes to Burkoff.
What's the name again?
Astria Ascending.
Congratulations, Astria Ascending.
I'm going to forget that in about 3 hours.
As you should with the most bland game of the year.
If only we had a trophy and we actually would send it to the studio. Congratulations, you won most bland game from Pixel Pints.
From a podcast that rarely gets double-digit listeners. Can we do something a bit more happy then and do game to recommend next?
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Okay, yeah.
And my game to recommend is Backbone.
Backbone.
This is an indie game on Game Pass. I don't know how much it will cost Evan to buy this on PSN. It is a pixel art with a dystopian noir adventure game with anthropomorphic animals.
Okay.
And some very clever writing. The game, I haven't posted any of the screenshots that I've taken on Twitter or Instagram yet, but the art design is spot on. Really bright neons and some really run-down looking environments. They take the piss out of Bugsnax.
Okay.
So in one of the scenes, you're trying to convince a boy to give up information on where his sister might be, and you get talking to him about sweets that he likes, and you say, "What about Bugsnax?" And the little boy says, "No, those are disgusting."
Interesting.
Oh wow, this game is gorgeous. This pixel art is amazing.
Haven't finished it yet, but saw it on Game Pass and thought that looks interesting. I'll give that a go. Brilliant game. It's actually stopping me from playing Halo Infinite because I'm playing that.
Interesting. Okay.
But you do need to pay attention because it's clever enough in a way that if you speak to someone, because you play as a private investigating raccoon, if you speak to someone and then don't remember what you told them, if you speak to them again, they will call you out for being a liar.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's cleverly written. The art style is great. The one thing that lets it down is the sound design because there isn't hardly any. But you don't need it because it's all text-based conversation. But I would recommend that to anyone who likes adventure games, pixel art design games. It's really good, fun, and interesting. I can't remember who made the game.
Just had him up. I don't know.
Let's look at my trophy list. Bone.
Fury? Eggnut?
Raw Fury. Raw Fury made the game.
Have they done any other games that you're aware of? Because it sounds familiar. Raw Fury sounds familiar.
No, I can't search for that on the Xbox app. But I will. Look it up yourself. Why have I got to do your homework?
I'm not saying you have to. I just was curious if you were aware of any other games. Looks
Right,
like
so that's
We'll
my game to recommend.
okay.
Here, this is the poor man's podcast. Picture in picture. I'll just hold up. Screen in screen. Backbone. That's cool artwork. It's in a very nice font as well. Kind of noir.
I have seen this. I was curious about it, but yeah, I haven't downloaded it. I will check it out now that you've mentioned it, though.
And it's on Game Pass, so it doesn't cost you anything really. It's part of your monthly fee. I would never have played this without Game Pass. Right, Matt, do you want to go next? What would you recommend?
I'm trying to think if I have any good recommendations that are not like top tier games. Or stuff that we might have missed.
I got one if you need more time.
Yeah, go for it, Mitch.
Mine is actually more on the top tier list, but that's fine. It's because actually at first I was confused, and then I was like,
Were you afraid, and then were you petrified?
No, I was confused, and then I was amazed, and then I laughed my ass off. And that is It Takes Two. I literally do recommend this one. Hardcore. I'm not done with it yet. Me and my best friend he's back in Minnesota. We're playing it together online co-op. And at first I got to a certain section where it didn't make sense, to be honest, to be like, okay, why does this game deserve Game of the Year? It's like the mechanics are fun, and like the co-op is good. Like what's got the charm that had everybody going for? I got to this one. I break them up. There's like sections. So like it's broken up into sections with new tools that you get to use. And there's a section of you in a tree with a bunch of squirrels dressed like the mafia. And they're after, and they're still playing a game to play, but they're after the nectar that the wasps are keeping away. And so they're like, we need you to get the trader bee that has this robotic hornet to be the queen of the hornets, even though it's a bee inside. And once you betray them because you save it, they bring out guns and start shooting at you. Like you fly a plane and one hops and does like a ninja move, and you start doing like a 2D brawler. It's just great. It's literally, we were laughing our asses off, and it is so much fun. And as a person that really loves co-op games, and like another one I could recommend if you're like, you want a smaller indie game, would be Towerfall. It's one of my favorite party games to play, which is pixel art Aero Coliseum Battler, which is you're a pixel character, you have a bunch of arrows, and you basically shoot each other, and the last one standing wins. But you can do things like catch your arrows, there's specialty arrows, and then you also can do challenges together where you like take on waves and waves of enemies in a 2D space. It's really, really great. But It Takes Two, I can see why it won. And actually, playing the section I played, I'm really, really excited to play more because I was just dying of laughter. It was just, I've not had that much laughter in playing games in quite some time. So I give it credit. It does definitely, so far in my mind, I think it did deserve that Game of the Year. So
I have it. It's in a box somewhere for Mrs. McMumble and I to play. I don't know what box it's in.
I think you both will really enjoy that game. Like, I think that was something I thought about. I was like, this would be something Keith and his wife would love to play together, or even Burkoff and his wife would really love.
Yeah. I think, we were actually looking for some co-op games recently, so
yeah,
Streets of Rage 4.
So I recommend that, or Towerfall. Towerfall's a really good game, super cheap.
Can't play Towerfall just on principle.
Yeah, it's really good.
This has been bothering me since you said it, Mitch. What was the crowdfunded open source console that came out? It was like this big, the Ubu.
Ouya?
Ouya.
The Ouya.
Yeah, the Ouya.
The ooh.
Ouya. The
The Ouya.
Ubu. Dude, are you taking the Ubu over to the mall today?
Powerfall was an exclusive for
It
the
was,
Ouya.
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And I remember everyone had said Powerfall is the best game on that platform, and it was so popular that eventually they ported it to everything else and labeled it with like
a different
adding
edition.
stuff along the way.
Right.
Powerfall Ascension, I
Yep,
think was
that's
the
what
edition.
it was. Yep, exactly.
I've never played it. I don't know why I remember it.
Fantastic.
Remember that.
It's fantastic.
I'm gonna go look on. I'm gonna go search for a used Ubu on eBay. Say that 5 times.
I mean, it's basically just an Android device. So if you
Right.
Or
Everyone said the controllers suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt refused to get an Ouya because it didn't run Linux.
well, it's only
Yes.
Android is Linux. So
Right. Evan, do you have a game to recommend?
Yes. The game I'm recommending is actually the last game that I played in 2021. The last game I got the Platinum Trophy in. And that is A Short Hike. And it is a very short hike. And it's also very cheap. So I got it for a couple bucks, and it's about 2 to 3 hours, maybe 5 if you want to platinum the game. But very, very simple. You're on a little island, and your mom's coming to visit you, but you don't have cell phone reception. Oh, you play as an anthropomorphic bird named Claire or something. You don't have cell phone reception, so you have to climb to the top of the mountain to get cell phone reception so you can call your mom. That's it. And the art style, it's actually quite interesting. So when you first start out, the art style is very, very heavily pixelated, which actually I didn't like, but if you're into that, you can do that. And in the options, you can go for like super chunky pixels all the way down to completely minimal, like really, really clean looking, like Donut County. It actually has like 6 or 7 different options you can get there. So you play this, and the art style is somewhere between good Animal Crossing design, that is to say, if Animal Crossing did made the game look nice, and something like Donut County. That's kind of an amalgamation. It's very, very pleasing to the eye.
Oh, please.
And,
you just said Donut County because you want Keith to play it.
I've platinumed it.
Ooh, see? No,
No,
I thought of
the
Donut
hike
County.
No, I haven't played the hiking game.
No,
is it on Game Pass?
That's what I meant. Is he said
That is
he said Donut County as like a bait word for you to play the hike game.
right. That is the only question though. Is it on Game Pass? Which one?
a short hike is that?
A short hike.
Is it on Game Pass? Is that what he's asking?
Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah.
to get up.
So
I don't think it is.
it's kind of like a.
No, it's too short to be on Game Pass.
It's a kind of like isometric, but the camera is a bit dynamic. And you start at the bottom of this island, and there's little there's like anthropomorphic rabbits and crocodiles and frogs and stuff along the way, and you're a bird, and the whole thing is you got to get to the top of the mountain, but it's not that simple because you have to collect gold feathers, and for each gold feather you collect, and you can get the gold feather by searching the area. Completing a very, very simple like trade or side quest for one of the characters, like a frog making sandcastles on the beach. He doesn't have it. He won't trade you his shovel unless you find a smaller shovel. And so you got to find that, give it to him, trade that, then you can dig up a gold feather. For each gold feather that you collect, you get 1 flap of your wings, or like a second of climbing. And so eventually you end up collecting so many feathers that you can flap your wings a little bit to gain height, and then you can glide. And so the whole game, you just kind of walking around this island and meeting these people and poking and prodding the land and getting these gold feathers so that you can climb further and further. And it gets harder and harder. And there's a section where you can't use your gold feathers and you have to do this one thing. There's a fishing element to it, and it was a very nice way to wrap up the end of the year. And very, very important for an indie game of this kind of caliber, it does not have grating, quirky dialogue. I actually liked the dialogue. They weren't trying too hard, and it was actually like, oh, this is how people like pretty much kind of talk. Like, I like Oxenfree. I don't know if you guys have ever played Oxenfree, but that dialogue was, to me, it's a bit like Catcher in the Rye. I don't know if this is sacrilege, but Salinger is like trying to talk like a teenager, but he doesn't sound like one, and it's slightly annoying. I like the dialogue in this for what it's worth. So yeah,
That's
very,
a whole,
very,
that's
very
a whole
good game.
nother. That's a whole other thing we need to talk about off air.
Okay.
Right.
Because Catcher in the Rye is like
Evan-
one of my favorite books.
Oh, okay. I remember reading it back in the day. I did not enjoy it.
It's,
I'll give it
it's
another.
American, isn't it? Don't want to read that shit.
What about Steinbeck? Come on, man. East of
Matt,
Yeah.
Different,
all right, so my
different podcasts.
yeah, just totally derailed me because I'm actually reading Cannery Row right now. But so my pick would be Golf with Friends. As long as we're going to keep it, lighthearted and sort of whimsical games that we would recommend for other people. Golf with Friends is how we started the year off. Played a lot of that, just having friends and family over, playing that. So I would definitely recommend that if you've got some people over and you want something fun to do, especially
and it
for
doesn't
people
take
that
very long
don't.
to download.
Doesn't take very long to download. Doesn't it's very easy for people that don't normally play video games to figure out, and it's a pass the controller type thing. So you're not like competing in that regard. So yeah, I think it's good. That would be my
Right.
recommendation.
So, who's voting for what? I'm guessing Mitch wants to stick with It Takes Two.
No, you can't vote for yourself. That's the only thing.
Okay, I'm not going to vote for Evan's thing because I think he over-egged it a bit. It dragged on a bit too much for me.
What are you talking about? I spent as much time as everyone else did talking about their game.
I don't believe you.
You just don't
I'm going to
like
watch
me.
this back and timestamp it.
Just let's see.
I'd say I'll go for out of those. The fact that I've got it probably should be It Takes Two. I have it to play.
I forgot what yours is, Keith, but I'll vote for yours. Backbone. I'll vote for Backbone.
I'm gonna go.
The only reason
I'm gonna go. It Takes Two, just because I could see myself playing that with my wife.
Yeah, I already want to play It Takes Two, and I think it's an easy recommendation. It's a bit too easy. It's one game of the year and all of that type.
I gave
And
two
I've already
recommendations technically.
I mean, I know that people like Towerfall, but I don't like multiplayer stuff, so I can't go for that. I do appreciate
And you can't play
effort.
that game on principle because of the nomenclature.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It does end in Ascension, but that's also a very generic subtitle. So it's like double minus points. Does that mean it's a positive? Anyways,
you're not a maths teacher, so let's not go into that.
You know what, Keith? When I was at the movie theater and I was seeing both Matrix, great movie, and Spider-Man, great movie. I was seeing both of them, and there was a movie called Moonfall, and you know what I thought of? I thought of you. Because why does everything have to have to fall after it?
There is a movie called Moonfall. I actually kind of want to see it. Moonfall. Is the moon falling on the Earth? Is that what's happening?
No, the moon goes out of orbit, but it's not going to hit the Earth. That's not the thing that's going to hit the Earth is a meteor from Don't Look Up.
Yeah. I watched it.
Anyways,
it was pretty good.
That's pretty good too.
I'll go for
pick a game.
I love Grande just singing of like the politicians and then
Backbone.
Okay, so we've got.
I like the pixel art a lot.
Right, so we have a tie. Well done, everybody.
Well, if I can vote for myself, I'll vote for my own game, so therefore I win.
Okay. Moving on.
And the best recommended game is
It Takes. Fuck the Oscars. Right. Next we'll go with best surprise.
Best surprise.
So Matt, I'm guessing yours is your inability to control a vehicle in video games.
Multiple video games.
Multiple video games.
Months. Yeah.
well, if you don't have one, Matt, I got one.
There's nothing wrong with the maker.
No.
It's just your driving.
So, all right. So, are we talking about like a specific moment or a specific thing or a game
Anything.
itself?
Anything you want.
Oh.
I would say the biggest surprise for me was Hades, because I didn't expect a roguelike to have such a strong narrative thread through it, and I found that really surprising. I thought they nailed it, and it was really enjoyable. So that's my biggest surprise.
I never finished it, and then I got fed up with it. It actually gave me tendonitis in my thumb.
Oh wow,
Yikes.
that sucks.
Someone needs to
From
get good.
playing that game so fucking much. Yeah. So my best surprise is kind of a negative, but positive in some ways as well. Is how much I've not missed having a PlayStation.
Okay.
I thought that I would miss having a PlayStation more than I have, and I've not. I'm quite happy to wait for longer to get a PS5.
I was gonna say probably next year that would be I'd be more shocked by that based off like how many more games are coming out.
Yeah,
if
I was saying the same thing in 2023.
Yeah,
if I don't get a PS5 this year.
Yeah, that would shock me. That would be biggest surprise. I'm not as surprised by that because it's just the first year of a new console. Like I waited a full year to get my PS4 from my PS3. It's like it doesn't see. I guess unless you're a usual early adopter, it's not a surprise as much.
Yeah, and saying that some of the games that I've heard people talk about as being the best things that you can play, things like Miles Morales, and it's like, yes, would I have liked to have played that? Would I have entered into 474 raffles in Japan just to not get anything, and then my wife to enter one and win it first up?
And she didn't keep it for herself. That was the mistake.
Yeah, after how much I enjoyed having my PS4 Pro, I'm genuinely surprised how much I don't miss having a PlayStation. Thanks, Game
Might as
Pass.
well just say it. Okay, thank you. I knew it was coming.
No, we can't say that. That's way too. It's not appropriate.
Well, like whatever. Like Sony and Nintendo rule Japan, right? And that's basically why I have these two systems. But if I had an Xbox, I'd be all over Game Pass. It's, from what I hear about it, it's an amazing deal. And it would be nice to be able to let games go, knowing full well that I actually paid money for them per se, aside from the subscription. So yeah, there's not that much out. Like Miles Morales is good, but even playing that game, I was like, I've played this game before. It's Spider-Man 2018.
Right.
So need a couple more bangers out there before it becomes a
it's like
must-buy.
Returnal is. It's probably a good game. It's not a
more niche.
Yeah, it's not a system seller. Ratchet and Clank, yeah, that's definitely a system seller, but also like that's only one system seller, right?
The Last
And
of
I've
Us
also
Part,
played that game. Yeah.
I think, so I'm pretty much converted to the Xbox Microsoft ecosystem at this point, right? But my sister-in-law's boyfriend, he just got a PS5, finally found one. And I was watching him play Assassin's Creed Valhalla with all of the new next-gen updates and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, if that's your system to play next-gen games on, it's not a bad system. I mean, it looks great. It's smooth. It's fucking massive. Next to his
does
TV,
it actually look great as a system? I mean, all Evan's using it for at the moment is to rest his headphones on.
Oh, don't worry. You can buy new plates. Didn't you see? Did you see? You can get new plates. You can get purple plates.
I think I can see Evan with some nice purple plates.
Yeah.
You're basically just turning in a giant white monolith into a giant black monolith. It's
funny
put a
because
shadow over your eyes.
Well, you
we were
could
joking about
also
the
make
size.
it look like you can make it look like Saruman's tower. Sauron's tower.
Yeah.
We joke about the size, right? And my wife is like, it really can't be that big, is it? And then went over to her sister's house and was like, holy shit, that thing is massive.
Size matters.
It is quite surprising. As much as you've heard it, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this thing is fucking huge.
Yeah.
And it's also hideous.
My roommate has
Yeah.
one, and I was like, "Damn, that thing's huge." He's like, "Yeah, it's big," but I mean, but also, I guess, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Right,
not
Mitch,
surprised.
what's your best surprise of last year?
This is also like a positive negative, Keith, and that's Halo Infinite. I'm
Oh,
surprised.
that you
I'm
you were surprised
surprised
it wasn't terrible.
No, yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't terrible, and I'm also surprised how that grappling hook actually makes the gameplay better, a lot better, in many ways. Obviously, like, does it share in my most disappointing section of being like, wow, this could be an amazing game if they actually like were able to. Because I mean, I've heard so much development issues with that game, like that like basically 2/3 of it have been cut because they basically ran out of time and all that kind of stuff. And like, if they actually were given the time to actually finish it, like of what they were working on with this version, I think it really could have been one of the best games of all time.
All right, so 3 of us have played it, and Evan, you don't really care about spoilers or anything, right?
I don't give a shit about Halo. No, go ahead.
But did McWomble finish it?
I haven't, but I really don't care. I don't care
haven't
what
fin-
happens
I
at the
haven't-
end.
Yeah,
The
I
story's
haven't finished
shit.
it
The
either.
story is such shit. It
So
basically
you're
leads you
talking
back
about
to square one.
harbingers and forerunners and fucking.
Well, and then you
I
find
don't
out- and
care
then
with
you-
your impenetrable nonsense.
Well, and then you find out that the
It's-
AI you're with is actually Cortana, but it's just the first version of Cortana, and she finds out. She's, oh my god, I'm sorry if I tried to. And it's like, well, no.
So it's fun.
Yeah, that
It's a
doesn't
fun
do
game.
anything.
There's one point where I stopped, I guess, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And it's right after the first tower that you go through where you meet the Harbinger, I guess.
Yes.
And then you get flown to this other area and you're supposed to infiltrate
Knock
this
out
other
the
tower.
AA guns, yeah.
Yeah. It's all,
Right.
It's
Which
all
was
about
from the
taking out.
demo.
It's all taking towers.
So and then it gets to the point and it's like, oh, you need to knock out these other towers. Oh, by the way, there's 5 of them. And I was like, fuck me. I just got done knocking out all of these other bases and everything. I thought I was finally on a path to do the story.
Yep.
And it's just like, no, it's just more of the same shit. And like, I cannot be bothered to check off a fucking list
That's
of the same goddamn activities every time. Like
that's
that-
what's disappointing.
I just got to a point where it's like, no, this suffers from the exact same bullshit that all the Far Cry games do. That, you know, like all these other open world games have issues with, and I don't know why everybody's praising it for it. Like it is a fun game. It's gonna be great with co-op, and you're gonna be able to have a lot of fun, you know, messing around. But yeah,
Like,
I had
the
issue.
grappling hook is so cool. Why did they not make a puzzle with it? Or
Well, that's where this collecting the skulls comes in, because there's one on that first tower. You need to use the
Yeah.
grappling hook to kind of swing yourself up and keep going up on using different points. It's the one skull that I got because
I get that.
I just
Keith.
thought, I wonder what's up there.
I mean, I get that, Keith, but at the same time, like, that's a super challenge one. It's like, but they don't even introduce trying to use the grappling hook as a puzzle. To be like, oh, start being, think about the creativity you could do with this tool. Like, that's where it was lacking in so many areas. And I just, yeah, I mean, I like the direction it was going, and I agree with you, Burkoff. It is the most minimalistic you could do with an open world game in regards to checkbox. Literally,
It's
that's
just
the whole game.
tedious.
That's the whole game. It's
yeah.
towers. It's literally just go to this tower. Oh, you need to activate this tower. Oh, you need to deactivate this tower. Oh, I need the code from these 2 towers to get into this tower. And then the plot is I do not understand why people are like, oh yeah, this villain is it's so good. I'm like, what are you talking about? The guy monologues the entire game about how, oh, I'm so powerful and you are so weak and I'm going to kill you. And then when you get to him, you kick his ass and you're like, wow, what a piece of work you are, man. Like, seriously, you weren't even, and he's not even a challenge. Like, there is no creativity to the boss battles. It's just these guys with hammers or guns. Like, where's the, like, maybe you should try to, like, maybe they leave a bunch of like the electric pillars next to you, so you have to like throw them at him to take out the shield. So then you can take out his armor, and then his shield will pop up again, and you have to keep doing that as like it's just something different. Like all these are just like take them out the same fucking way.
Is this the award for best surprise?
Yeah, best surprise. Best surprise. The gameplay is great, but everything else is crap. But I thought the gameplay was not gonna. I thought I was not going to like playing Halo because the past Halos are almost unplayable, and I haven't really enjoyed them. And the fact that this grappling hook and they've done a little bit of nuance with some things that, you know, for me it actually worked as a gameplay mechanic. The rest of it is just crap, and I'm so disappointed.
The mechanics.
Do you know what?
If I
shut up, man, I'm talking. Jesus, I'm rude to you.
It's 2020. Ring in the Matt year.
If I hadn't have played Crackdown 3, this could have been a contender for blandest game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
what are they doing with Infinite?
I mean, it was on my consideration for most blandest, but it was most surprising because the gunplay is really good. It's like really good. I haven't felt that good gunplay in a while.
If they had varied up the environments a little bit,
I agree.
It would have been a little more interesting to do the checklist. But,
do you not like sci-fi corridors?
And do you not like just forest and woods and trees and grass and everything is just the same, exactly the same?
That's all I've seen.
Yeah, so that's what I got bored of. Mountains. I was actually happy when I got to a sci-fi corridor because, like, oh, thank God, no more forest.
You were happy when you got to the sci-fi corridor? Put that on the
I will say, Burkoff,
because it breaks it up.
Well,
it's not just the same environment.
You say that right now, Matt, but there is one level where there is a sci-fi corridor where it is literally cut and paste the same corridor that you have to go through 5 times in a row. There's nothing creative about the corridor. It's the same exact fucking corridor. And you go through the door. Oh, this is the same corridor I just went through. Oh, this is just the same one.
Mitch, let's cut them some slack. So you walk through the sci-fi corridor, but then you've got to turn left or right to walk through exactly the same corridor.
It's just flipped. It's mirrored. It's like, what the...
There is some variation there.
Oh my God.
I found controlling vehicles to be anything other than annoying.
That's
so it would have been better though if they had thrown in some of the stealth Covenant guys.
More of them,
they carry the energy sword, because there is a point where I was like, oh shit, another area that's like this. It's kind of dark. Let me throw down the beacon thing or the scanner thing, because there might be somebody here.
Because you haven't finished it, and the part you just talked about is only like the very beginning of the game. There is a lot more of them, especially near the end of the game. They are mixed in with everyone else, and it gets you don't originally you do see them. So you know that they're there, but they do end up disappearing. And they actually are more creative with them. They start out with a gun, and then if you get close, then they start transforming and doing the cloaking method, and then you have to like keep your eye out for them. So it really just depends.
Those are the gold ones, right?
There's
gold
and
red.
There's gold, red, and silver.
Right.
There's 3 different versions. But yeah, I
I like Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all. But yeah, that's my biggest surprise, because and also in my mind, my expectation was this was going to be a real shit show, and it wasn't that bad of a shit show.
No, I mean it's a solid 7.5.
Anyone gave this a 9 is on crack.
Evan, did you give it a 9? I just wanted to move the conversation on.
Yes.
Evan, what's your best surprise from last year?
Runner-up is actually Bugsnax. I think that game is great. I really, really like Bugsnax. Totally, like I can't believe I'm having such a great time with this game. I loved it catching all those bug snacks. Like, really good puzzles. Like, how the fuck do I catch this bug snack? There's, like, steps you have to take to get there. But anyways, every now and then, Nick Womble, you have a good idea. I know it's rare, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful that not only you're the quiz master, but then you do come up with such topics as pitch a game to Evan, because I might
holding in his hand?
play a game that I never
okay.
would have thought. And this is actually 100% true. I was never going to play this game. A game was pitched to me on this episode, and then completely coincidentally, it was marked down from $60 to $5 on the PlayStation Store. I've never seen a sale, that big of a sale before.
What was that 1,000%
and,
savings?
Yeah, whatever. I wonder what the percentage was on there. Usually they have a little
Too many
thing
zeros.
there.
Error cannot compute.
Big sale.
Big sale.
So I said
That would be 90%, wouldn't it? If it was $5.99 down from $59.99.
Well, I'm not a math teacher, but I trust your maths, McWomble. So
I have more than one.
I said, yeah, plural. So I said I'll do it for $5 because I was pitched this game, and not only is it the best puzzle game that I've ever played, although I haven't played a lot, it actually is my number 2 on my Game of the Year list this year, and that's the Talos Principle. The Talos
Phenomenal
Principle
game.
is a game that I would never have played because I was so intimidated by the puzzle aspect of it, mostly because of the witness and the puzzle principle. The Talos Principle is a very, very different game, but it sets up the puzzles in a very, very clever way. As any one, just very, very simple, one by one, and then stacking on extra things, so on and so forth. But we don't really have to even get into like the types of puzzles that are in the game. That's not the important part. It's just I've never played a game that has pushed me this hard to really, really like I had to like walk away from the controller and completely have my subconscious work over this game and then come back. And the level of achievement you feel after figuring out some of these harder puzzles. You just put down the controller, you're like, there's no one in the room, by the way, but I'm still doing this. I'm like, did you just me Evan, who plays like 3 genres. I figured this puzzle all by myself. And it's fucking great. However, that DLC is too fucking hard. I gave up. It's so hard. Man, I'm so dumb. Oh god.
No, the road to I haven't finished it either. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I got through the first section. There's like several sections. Like, I am so good at this fucking game. Holy shit, guys. And then the second section, I was sweating. I was having like meat sweats without even eating. I was like, this. I don't know about this game, or my brain at least. But anyways.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked by your biggest surprise, Evan, because I thought your biggest surprise would be how much you hated Solar Ash.
Oh man. Well, if there was a most disappointed section, there would have been a tie between Kentucky Route Zero, which I think is a piece of shit, and Solar Ash, which is definitely Solar Ass. Is definitely the most disappointing.
Wow.
But yeah, dude, the Talos Principle is an amazing game, and I'm so happy that I played it. I can't believe the people that made Serious Sam made this game. That is such a complete. How do you? It's such a clever game. Just
do you mean
the puzzles that in that
juxtaposition?
game, but yeah. See, McWomble is he's got very good ears. He knew that I was searching for a word and I switched what I was going to say, and he caught it. The second time this episode. I'm an English teacher, by the way. I failed at maths twice in this episode. And also at the job that currently pays for those lovely beers that are behind me. I'm a fraud.
I'm
being honest.
How do you fit juxtaposition into a classroom full of teenage Japanese students trying to learn English?
Oh, I throw in stupid jokes and stuff that go over their heads all the time, so I could do it tomorrow if there was a class. They wouldn't get it, but I could still use it in my classroom. But yeah, Talos Principle. I'm very surprised and also very, very happy that I played that game.
Right.
Thank you, Matt.
On the basis that Matt did something good last year, and Evan got so much enjoyment out of it, I'm going to say the best surprise is the Talos Principle.
I'll go with Evan's Talos Principle.
Matt, we
Yay.
did it. We did it.
Finally, the game gets the recognition it
And
deserves.
the biggest surprise goes to
Evan's playing at the Talos Principle. Doo-doo-doo. Right.
Most
so
played?
let's very quickly go through most played. Right. My most played was Apex Legends.
my most played was Madden NFL 21.
Oh wow.
I gotta imagine my
You guys
Bears
get hour
winning.
counts?
How many football seasons have I done in this year in Madden? Let's just say like 20 something, and there's 17 games plus the Super Bowl hour per game. It's a couple hundred hours. It's my guilty pleasure go-to.
Keith, do you have a number on Apex?
It was on my Xbox Museum thing. I couldn't tell you how many hours I played, but it came up as your number one most played game.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what Xbox gave me, but my most played was probably Cyberpunk 2077 this year.
Do you
I've
know
only played-
like a general, like 70, 60, 70, something like that?
Let me see if I've got how long I've played. 32 hours.
All right. What was it, 80?
32.
Oh, 32. Oh, damn.
Yes,
All right.
single most played game this year
Okay.
for me.
For me, it should be Persona 5 Royale, but I split that between 2020 and 2021, December, January, which was 125. But if it was a game in 2021, it was Xenoblade Chronicles. And of course, Nintendo doesn't give you the hard numbers. It just says over 70. But that's just like just give me the number, Nintendo. Why do you have to make everything so fucking difficult? But it's a JRPG. Those games are going to be long. But see, you guys stop playing all those fucking games. One game for a couple hundred hours. You could beat 38 games in 1 year and platinum 20 on them, just like me.
I only have 4
You can do
platinums,
it.
Evan, and I'm so happy about them. Sly 2, Sly 1, Until Dawn, and Resident Evil 2. It's my 4 platinums. That's all I need.
Resident Evil 2, that's a really good platinum. That's something that I could not do. So congrats to you. Also, Until Dawn, a great platinum because you get to see
All the
everyone
endings.
live and everyone die and everything in between. Awesome, awesome horror game.
What's the next one?
Oh, I need to vote for that first.
Oh.
In honor of John Madden, I'm going to vote for Mitch's obsession with trying to get the Bears to the Super Bowl, which isn't going to happen in real life.
Fire everyone.
I'll
You know what?
second that.
Mick Womble, yeah, I do agree with
Which,
that. I do not
which I
like
would-
sports games, but I do appreciate the idea of him
So
living
there-
this
so there's-
Bears Super Bowl dream in his head. So.
So there's 2 things I would love for John Madden to be honored for. One, the All-Pro team should be called the All-Madden team in John Madden's
Yeah.
name. And then 2,
Put him on the cover.
I think they should name when they decide to expand to more teams, they should put one in Oakland and they should call it the Oakland Maddens. And
just
most
have his
played
face
game
on the
goes
side of the
to
helmet.
Boom.
Boom.
with the headset.
there's actually
Yeah.
no there's a really cool image. So there's a documentary they if you didn't know, there's a
On,
documentary
on
that
Game Pass,
the-
NFL Game Pass.
what?
This
On,
guy's
it, was,
got
it,
Game
was
Pass
a,
on
it
the
was
mind.
ESPN.
But anyways,
I
The
can't.
other game.
I don't have
pass.
any ESPN Plus. I have NFL Game Pass, so I
they're-
can watch the documentary.
but
Yeah, I need to do it as
but
well.
they literally just came out with the documentary. There's a really nice image of him that they used that was illustrated. I think that could go on the side of a helmet, and that would be awesome.
Oh, the black background where
Yep, with
his
the
head's white, but
Yep.
black background.
Yep,
Yeah.
I love it. Oakland Raider colors, perfect. I love it. Oh no, wait.
Las
Shit.
Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
But I like the image. Keep the image. It's a good image. Anyways, what's the
Do
next
you guys think he'll be on the cover of Madden next year?
Yes,
I'm guessing. he
guaranteed.
will.
Yes.
Guaranteed. That was the first thing I
Yeah.
thought of. He's going to be on the
Or
cover.
either that, or because he was on the cover of the first 3, I think.
3 or 4.
I do a
it's on
montage.
two, yeah.
I do so because
Through the
EA
years.
love EA love limited editions and gold editions.
That's smart.
They'll
There you
do
go.
throwbacks where you can have the different colours from the original 3 games, and then you get different. You get more chance to gamble.
Or you could, or they'll let you print it out like they did when they had Brett Favre on the cover, and then he went to the Jets, so you could print out the Brett Favre Jet version.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do like they did with NHL '94, where they'll take like the Sega version or the Mega Drive Genesis version of was it Madden 94, 95? It's like one of the best versions from the 16
What I'd like
era.
is in the career mode, if you can walk into your apartment and actually play the old version, so go and sit
that'd
down
be awesome. That'd be
and
cool.
have that.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Or they just give it to you as a,
by the arcade
or they redo the original and like have it as an extra downloadable content.
They,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
it's
Yeah,
only
like
for
they did
free.
with.
It's only in the
doing
Ultimate
NHL
Edition.
94.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the next one?
Favorite trophy or achievement you're most proud of? Evan, of the 294 million trophies you got last year, we'll wait for you to come back from wherever you went. Matt, do you have a trophy or an achievement you are most proud of?
I don't know that I do. I'm going to check though. I've gotten into this service that I think I've pitched to Evan that I think he might like, which is retro achievements. And retro achievements is basically a way for you to have achievements for your emulators and your ROMs. And I'm looking on there to see if I have anything interesting, but I think
You mean your stolen games?
no, they're back.
It's costing people their livelihoods, obviously, because if
So interestingly enough, there is a way to extract. If you own the PC version of the Genesis collection or like the Atari Vault and stuff like that, there are ways to extract the games out of those collections and use them in emulators. So just saying, you can own them legally. But yeah, I think mine would probably be like Asteroids or something from Atari 2600. Just because
Some paleo gaming.
Yeah, I thought it was cool to be able to get achievements for that.
right,
Yeah, that is neat.
Evan, of the 29 platinums you got last year because you have some kind of weird obsessive compulsive disorder,
bad.
which one would you say is your...
So this is actually kind of pathetic. The bigger story here is that in the past 3 years, I've gone from 6 platinums, 2019 to 12, and then this past year was 21. Here's the thing, though. This isn't the stock market. I'm not an investor. I can't expect these things always to go up, right? And then start investing in NFTs and all this other bullshit. There is going to be a down year. So I'm thinking it's going to be this year. I'm prepared to not get more than 21 platinum trophies this year. That's fine by me. But the trophy that it's hard, but the trophy that I found was Rolling Sixes from Cuphead, and the trophy is beat King Dice without getting hit. King Dice is the second to last boss, so he's one of the harder ones, and Burkoff, you gotta help me. What was that game from the Genesis? Gunstar Heroes? Do you remember that game?
Yeah. What about it?
So, there's a level in that game where you're on a game board, and you have to roll dice in order to progress and actually get to the boss. But if you hit wrong points on the board, you have to like fight enemies or go through like challenges. Do you remember that level?
Was that Gunstar? Because I thought that was a Konami side scroller.
Yeah, it's a side scroller, but well, okay. So, anyways, so for King Dice, you're playing like a craps table, but you're going through this basically the same idea where you have to roll a die, and then you land on certain squares, and if you land on the square, you have to fight a boss. And if you're unlucky, you're gonna hit like 4 or 5 bosses all the way through. And even if you get past that, you have to fight King Dice at the end and beat him. And if you die at any point in that, you go all the way back to the beginning of the board. It fucking sucked. I had such trouble with it. But somehow, I got this trophy where I got through the entire board. I don't know how many bosses I fought along the way. I got through the whole thing without getting hit once. Although, I'm not going to lie, apparently with the trophy, you can get hit at least once. In Cuphead, you start with three lives, but there is an item that can give you 4. So as long as the game counts 3 lives, they count it as not getting hit. So I may have had 4 and I got hit once. But it's not even that great of an achievement. I didn't get hit by a boss one time this year.
Oh, God forbid
so
you didn't
I'm sorry
do
to
it with a
disappoint you.
DDR pad.
No, dude, you look at people playing. I'm not great at Cuphead. I beat the game, but I'm just persistent. That's all. Like I am not that good at games. I'm so stubborn and persistent that I will hit my head against the wall until I beat the fucking game. And then you look online, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, of course, because people online playing Cuphead are absolutely insane. With any game, no one's surprised by this information, but yeah. That was like the crowning achievement of my life last year. That's fucking pathetic, but I'll take it.
All right, Mitch, do you have a trophy or achievement you're most proud of?
The achievement I'm most proud of is beating Resident Evil 3 on Nightmare difficulty and getting an S ranking.
See, that's a solid achievement. That's
Yeah.
something that not a lot of people can
because
do.
I worked with Sifted 2 years ago to be able to get to it, so I got to it this year. So it beats.
How many times do you think you played through the game to get to that point to be able to do that?
That was only my 4th playthrough.
Fucking hell,
Mitch
man.
has had the game memorized for years.
Yeah, working it out. Tomb Raider and Resident Evil. It just works in the subconscious at all times.
All
Right,
right. So
and
are we
the
voting?
achievement I am most proud of getting is called Phantom in the Hull. I don't know why it's called that, but it is from Streets of Rage 4, and it's for
I knew
getting to level 18 in survival mode, and only 0.95% of people who've played the game have got that achievement, and it's really fucking hard.
Nice.
Along Evan, you saying about watching people speedrun games online, I've seen people get to level 34 because that's the next achievement. So you get to level 18, and then the next one's level 30. And I've seen people go through Streets of Rage on Mania difficulty and doing perfect runs and getting never breaking their combos and things like that. And just think, how many hours have you spent learning each of the spawn points of each of the enemies on every single level to be able to do that and get an S rank on every stage? It's just, but doing perfect runs as well. It's just bonkers. And the fact as well that it was Mrs. McWomble and I playing it, and we did it on New Year's Eve.
Oh, you just did it. Nice.
Literally
That's
just
cool.
did
Got
it.
Wait a minute. If that trophy you got is 0.9% of what is that level 34 at 0.03 or something crazy like that?
There's some really low ones on there.
What is the platinum trophy percentage on that game? I mean, that's got to be pretty nuts.
To get an S rank on all stages on hard difficulty or higher is 0.28%.
Damn.
Wow. And you got to think there's not
Unlocking all the alternate moves using survival mode, 0.12%.
Jesus.
0. Yeah. 0. Wow.
And there's not nearly as many people playing that game as there would be something else.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Oh,
The trophy for reaching level 30
that's
in
crazy.
survival mode is I Am the One. And that has
you are the one.
has a completion percentage of 0.36%.
Yeah, that's like Cuphead level stuff. That actually might be even more difficult. As much as I joke about all this platinum trophy stuff, I do like a general challenge, and I do regret the Micetopia platinum trophy. I should never have gotten that. Everything else has been a general, like, I actually do have to put in hours and hours of time to get these things. However, nothing even close to that. And actually, this trophy that I scraped to find this Cuphead one, it's McWobbles and Mitch's are those two trophies are much harder than anything I've probably. I'm a fraud. It's the second time I've said that this year.
At least you didn't get what's it the mayonnaise game one where you just click on the buttons over and over and get a platinum trophy.
I'm actually kind of a shit. Although Micetopia took me about 2.5 hours to beat, so there is that. But I am ashamed of that. I will never dip my toe into trash trophies ever again. It's terrible.
Oh my god.
That's crazy though. The good on you. New Year's Eve trophy.
If I can't vote for myself, I'd have to vote for Mitch.
I'm voting for you, Keith, for coming in right under the wire with a pretty boss trophy.
I can't vote for myself, so I vote for Keith. Just vote for Keith.
I think I'll vote for Keith. Yeah, I'll vote for Keith only because I think Mitch is such a Resident Evil fan. He's naturally good at the game.
It's easy.
So he has
it's not even difficult.
He has a he has a handicap, which makes the trophy like slightly not as impressive, even though it already is impressive. But also, the timing of Keith's trophy and playing with the misses and that. Yeah, let's give it to Keith. That's a good trophy.
And the winner goes to
me. And we were so close to doing it again just before we came on the podcast, reaching level 18, and then we died just as some of the boss fights in that are just insanely hard.
Yeah.
And the last category
is favourite game. So this doesn't necessarily have to be the best thing that you've played, just the most fun that you've had with it. Matt, would you like to kick us off?
Start us off with my most favorite game of 2021.
Final Fantasy VIII Remastered.
I actually don't have the remaster. I was thinking about buying it because it's on sale on Steam and on Xbox right now. No, I've got every other version of it.
You meant Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Yay!
No, honestly, I think mine's kind of split between Cyberpunk 2077, which continually gets buggier and buggier, and I'll probably never be able to finish it, but I did have a hell of a lot of fun with it, or Forza Horizon 5. And Forza Horizon 5
I didn't know you even played that.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 5 is the easy way out because everybody else will be like, yeah, that's a legitimate answer. So I'll probably just go with that one.
Okay, I find Forza Horizon...
You almost gave me a heart attack.
I couldn't bring myself to start playing it because I got so bored with Forza Horizon 4 so quickly.
Agreed. I couldn't put my...
Or like Forza Horizon Snore.
Evan's going to be thinking about that joke for a little while. No. So, Mitch, we'll come to you next. What was your favourite game of last year?
Resident Evil Village.
That makes sense.
Nice.
And it's
a good game.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. This year, to be truthfully honest, didn't have a lot of great games. Usually Resident Evil wouldn't make my list. So, Resident Evil Village is a good game. It's a great game. It's just not a amazing, life-changing, one of those games that would make me lose my freaking mind. Not like, something like Horizon could do this coming year, or something like God of War could do this coming year, or Spider-Man next year. It was really good, and I do like the levels. The first-person perspective was a little bit better. The gunplay was a lot better. It was more fun, even though I did not play it more than once. Usually I play a Resident Evil game more than once.
I'm surprised.
I have
because you can unlock all the unlimited ammo weapons and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not even a Resident Evil guy. I played it like 2.5 times, I think.
I tried to play it a second time, and I think I just played it too soon. But most of the time, I could, if I really like it, I'll play it like 3 times, back to back to back to back. And this one I couldn't even get through a second playthrough. So, but it's been a while. I think I might go back to it. It's still my favorite game of the year if there's a game that came out this year that I had to pick. So, and you know what?
Well, you have the power to self-select.
Yep. And then as I say this, look at the sun rays coming through my camera lens. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
The sun shines on the righteous.
Yeah, look at that's the sunlight's coming in strong right
Yeah,
now.
someone whoever is listening to this, watch it on YouTube, man. Like this is good stuff. This is good camera angles. Give myself an Oscar.
Those God rays from
It's all natural, baby. All natural.
Mitch's shot has been done by J.J. Abrams.
It just keeps getting brighter and shinier. You're missing out if you're not watching the video. Wow. Oh my god. It just keeps... Anyways, sorry.
I know you're at awe. I'm gorgeous. I know.
Yeah, shining down on you. All right. So out of my 38 completed games and 21 platinum trophies last year, number 3 was Cuphead. Number 2 was The Talos Principle. And number 1, my favorite game of 2021 is Disco Elysium.
Not surprised by that.
Which you didn't get the platinum on. Or
Fuck
did you?
no, man. No.
Okay.
I mean, usually what I do is like if I'm halfway through a game, like, I'm really liking this game. Let me check the trophy list. If it's doable without pulling my damn hair out, then I'll do it. Like, oh, this is going to take me an extra 3 hours, an extra 5 hours. You look at that game, it's like, okay, this is going to require 4 playthroughs, and you start doing the maths. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
It's task analysis.
But I don't even like CRPGs. I just never had a PC that could run anything growing up. So anything that has to do with like skill checks and pointing, click, and any of that stuff, I wasn't just necessarily interested because I didn't have a background in it. So I wasn't really interested in this game, and the definitive edition came out for PlayStation 5, and luckily it's not... I don't like games where you have a cursor and you highlight a group of things and point it to get resources to build your factory up so you can get armor or a special gun so you can go click your squadron and send them here into the fog of war.
So basically,
I don't
every
like
game that Dan likes to play.
Yeah, and Erebus Jones, I think he's a fan of some of that stuff. Well, I mean, he's a PC guy growing up. I would have been the same way if that's what my background was. But anyways, yeah, not a fan of that type of stuff. But that's not what this game is. It's totally skill check stuff, but there's no fighting in the game. It's so I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. One of the only things I bought when I was in England was this magnet of Baker Street when I went to the Sherlock Holmes Museum. So I like a good murder mystery, and I'm a big fan of Agatha Christie's Poirot and so on and so forth. So this game starts off, you're a detective, there's a guy hanging from the tree in the backyard, you basically have amnesia because you got so blind drunk the night before you don't know what's going on, and all you're doing is going around this fictional town and trying to figure out this murder. Absolutely amazing artwork. The story is great. The whole skill checkpoint thing is great. And it's just I'm a sucker for that. Like, how did this guy die? Who killed them? I'm gonna find it out. And it's kind of noir in that sense, like Backbone is. I guess like I do love that type of thing. And so yeah, it blew me away. It is an amazing game. I'm pretty sure Johnny Appleyard, OTAPS, was a big fan of it. I actually told him I would send him a Discord chat after I beat it to talk with him about it, and I never did. And I also told Tomb Raiders I would send him one about Persona 5 Royale when I beat it, and I also never did. So that's 2 things I should probably change for 2022 is start talking to more people.
Making amends in the new year.
Yeah, not being a lazy cunt. I love that game, and it is definitely one of those games. I'm sure you guys have one of those games where it's like, I'm going to play it again, just too soon because it's such a long game. It's so engrossing. There's so much going on. Like I'll play it like in a year's time. So sometime this year I want to play as a because you can play it as like the straight detective. You can play it as this crazy rock star drunk nuts guy. And I think I'm going to go that way this time. I played like the kind of intellectual, straightforward detective. So yeah, great game. Can't believe I even like a CRPG like that. Should probably be tied for best surprise, but yeah. I don't even know if that's a game I could recommend because I don't I wouldn't have recommended it to myself, but I don't know if you guys even gave it a gander, like maybe, but I fucking loved it, and I'm
It's
really,
not.
really
It's not on
surprised
Game
that I did.
Pass.
Well, there
Not
you
yet.
go. End of story. Fucking
Right.
great though.
So,
What a game.
a dishonorable mention to the worst game that I played this year, which was Skatebird.
Mm.
I don't even
What
know
a
what that is.
disappointment too.
Awful, absolutely terrible, completely unplayable. I don't know why that got such hype and then just launched in such a mess. Obviously, Apex Legends because I keep playing it. Other notable mentions: Mighty Goose.
Mighty Goose.
You play a goose who fights evil, and it's pixelated side-scrolling shooter. That's good fun. Obviously, Backbone because I mentioned that as my game to recommend. But my favourite game, Streets of Rage 4,
That checks out.
because I keep playing it.
Not as much as Apex Legends, though.
Not as much as Apex Legends, and
Oh. Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know my thoughts about Chorus and Guardians of the Galaxy once I've finished Halo Infinite.
I'm sorry. I should have said the clear winner of everything is Blasphemous. Is like one of the best games ever made. So I should have. I could have cut down like 50 minutes of me talking about nonsense to just say that one sentence. So
Right.
What an
So,
amazing game.
Mitch, our Pixel Pints Game of the Year is whatever you choose it to be because you won the Game of the Game Awards.
It is Resident Evil Village.
Well done to
you
Resident
didn't even
Evil
think about
Village.
it. It's a good game. It's a very good game. Bit disappointed with the latter half of it, but still solid.
I like the plot twist. Plot twist was good. And it made
Yep.
total sense. It like, wow, things were way more clarified from that. It's like one of those plot changes that makes you go, oh, when you kind of just forgave the previous game of being like, why the heck how could he live with his arms so to his hand? Like, how
Yeah.
does that work? And you're like, oh my God, you totally made it make sense.
Unlike anything in Halo.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, the weird giant vampire lady game makes sense, but Halo Infinite doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
They just use a lot of not adjective. They use a lot of like the flood, the blank, a lot of thes.
Yeah, there's a
then-
lot of generic.
Which makes it so
Names.
confusing to understand. Who the hell are you talking about?
Are we talking about Forerunners now, or Harbingers, or Banished, or Flooding, or
Protheans,
microclimate
yeah.
changes?
Prometheans, the
Oh, for God's sake! Is it just
Well,
just
that's
get
right,
out of
yeah,
your own way? Just write a decent character-driven story rather than bringing in all this ancillary bullshit.
oh, Burkoff, you haven't even hit my favorite part from Halo. I'm sorry, you haven't hit the part where the pilot breaks down into tears and cries.
I think I have.
Yeah,
got to that
and
point.
just goes there.
Nope.
Shut up, get on
Nope,
with it.
Nope, because you haven't gone through the gun section. That's literally at the end of the gun section is when he breaks down into tears.
The gun
Where you've got
section.
to knock out the three
Big guns.
anti-aircraft
Yeah.
towers.
I've already done that. I
Oh,
did those. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that was
No.
that was a horrible
So,
scene.
yeah.
Horrible scene.
Like, I think I'm probably, I want to say 2/3 of the way through. Where
It's longer than you think.
Yeah, it just gets
maybe it is.
longer and longer, and then you're like,
And
I'm done. No.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, well, so that was the thing. It was like, okay, so you knock out the 3 anti-aircraft guns, and then it takes you to another section. Like, okay, finally, I'm at that area of the map that I haven't been able to get to yet. Which, okay, I know I've got to take out those 4 or 5 FOBs or whatever, but there's probably going to be more shit on the map that I see. And then it's like, oh, you can't enter this to progress the story because we have 5 new towers that are spread out even further than the 3 anti-aircraft guns. I'm like, God damn it! That was where I lost it. It was right after you get the, right after you have the ability to get the ghosts,
Oh, gotcha.
where you can actually fly.
Yep. I see what you
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you are. Okay. Yeah. And I would say for everyone that says Big Phil's doing such a great job. Wow. Wow.
Well, it's
Wow.
not really his fault. I mean,
Are you kidding me? He managed them all. Come
That's
on, where
not-
does the buck stop?
He's not the studio head.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he can tell them, okay, this game is not ready to be released.
Well, he did.
The one thing I
and
will
then
say,
they've released
though-
it. Is it the box for my Xbox now makes sense because it's had Master Chief on it last November.
Right. I like how we've taken a little time of our Game of the Year awards to trash
Halo
Halo
Infinite.
twice.
well, all right. So to trash the campaign,
um,
because the multiplayer is really fun and really good.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
just
think
release the
there's-
multiplayer and then wait until the single player is actually done when there's actually a legit single player to play.
Well, all right. So let's
the
say
co-op.
that they cut 2/3 of the game. Do you really want another? What is it? 12 to 25 hours is the total completion time for the campaign. Do you really want 60 hours of just doing the same?
I don't
shit
want
over
another
and
No,
over
no, no, no,
again?
no, no, no.
And I've got another. I think I've got about another 2. No, it'd be less than that. I think I've got about another hour that I don't want and I don't need. After
Wow, that's-
after two sets of horde mode and two boss fights,
And
one after the other, just don't need it. I don't need to then get flown off to somewhere else to go through the same shit again.
Well,
probably
right.
to
and then Burkoff, I would
Ouch.
push back and say using the time to actually make intriguing like situations and intriguing like if they're gonna go open world, then make intriguing missions that come with going to get certain fetch quests, all that kind of stuff. Like there is ways to make these things intriguing. It looked like it was a rush job because they're like, oh my god, we need to put something in this populated world. Okay, put this here, put this here, put this here, take out this base, take out this base, take this gun, take this gun. And it's like, no.
Yeah, I like the idea, and I think mechanically it works. That they could do something with it if they, come out with story DLC or whatever, and there's like other areas to
No,
go
I don't
to,
even want
like,
them to
it
make
might-
DLC. I'm not going to play the DLC. I'm telling them right now,
I
scrap
mean,
it.
I don't know.
Scrap it.
Isn't Infinite? Isn't this something that they're going to be working
they've
on
said that they're going to use it
for
as a
years and years?
game as a
Which is
platform.
stupid.
And it's literally a platform because it's a Halo ring,
Yeah.
so there's no substance to it.
And especially the way it ends. It like basically you read basically the way the story ends, like you're supposed to go off the ring. Like, why are you staying there? Like, I don't know. I don't
'cause
know.
The whole point was to destroy the ring.
Right. And then you're like, oh no, we're gonna stay on the ring forever. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
The idea about taking out the high value enemy targets to get their weapons was a good one. But then the problem is you can only carry 2 weapons and you have limited ammo capacity for all the special weapons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is so frustrating. So
So
frustrating.
whenever you get something good, you can use it for about 5 minutes and then you've got to ditch it for
Yeah.
a gun that you need to pick up off the floor because it's got ammo.
Yep. I wish you could have all the weapons and have a weapon wheel. That is one game where a weapon wheel would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
I
make
found-
boss fights so much more enjoyable,
Found myself
if not too simple.
heading back to the FOBs to re-up on
Yep.
stuff.
I constantly search
All
to
the time.
give my weapons
Which-
ammo because I want to keep the same weapon. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm running out of ammo and I have to switch it.
Which just artificially increases the time, only because I don't want to be bothered with just picking up whatever is there.
Yeah, especially when they have shitty weapons.
It would be nice if like they do have the kinetic and the plasma and the whatever
Electric.
Yeah, those,
And then hard light. You haven't got to the
those
hard light
stations.
bit yet, Matt.
Yeah, you haven't gotten to that yet.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, so those are there, but they're so far and few between. That makes it more difficult to hold on to the stuff that you like it.
Yeah.
As well.
I mean, I like the way they evolved the game. I still think they're still stuck in the past. I think they need to evolve it more to the modern age because it's Halo. Well, fuck that. Like,
If God of War can have it done to that franchise, then you can do something different with Halo.
yeah. And to make this Halo, to like call this Halo Infinite, to say this will ever continue after seeing the end of the plot of the story, why? It makes no sense. If you finish the game, Keith, I'm interested to see your response to go, how is this going to take place on the Halo for the rest of the game after literally the ending is you destroyed the Halo?
I found it was more enjoyable to actually just try and do an as the crow flies. So if you put a marker down, sod the vehicles because they were just annoying. I would just run, and if there was a mountain in the way, I would just use the grapple hook to get over the mountain.
Yep, that was the most fun I had, was trying to like overcome the environment. Was probably is the most fun I had, which is platforming, which then makes you question, why is there no platforming levels? Just like a platforming puzzle, like they're all just collect this, put this in here.
Like Titanfall 2, one of the best first person shooters ever.
I've actually never played the best first person shooter ever.
Titanfall
whoever
2
wins,
designed around the traversal mechanic.
Maybe I'll play it this year just to make it game of the year for this year. Because I'm gonna win, fellas.
It's whoever wins the Pixel Pints Fantasy League, which I'll set up this week and then send all the categories around to people. Please say that Evan can never say anything but nice things about Titanfall 2.
You know what's funny about that? Just like last week, again, someone brought up Titanfall 2, followed by severely overrated recommendation about it. Like, I can't escape this fucking game. Like, you guys are all mental.
I mean, I haven't played it, Evan, so I can't.
You don't need to play it.
It's a tight.
I'm with Matt on this one. It's a good first person shooter. It's better than Halo Infinite, in my opinion.
Oh, then I'm definitely going to play it.
It's a tight.
It doesn't outstay its welcome.
Yeah,
it's as long as it needs to be. It has got some decent use of different mechanics that you pick up along the way. The fact that you're never constantly searching for, you do have to weapon swap, but none of them actually feel like you're being penalised at any point during the game.
Right.
Good gunplay, I'll say that.
And I gel better with Respawn's gunplay than I do with, say, Infinity Ward and all the people who make COD.
Well, the boss battles have their own gimmicks, and the gimmicks make sense and they're fun.
Unless you're Evan and you hate fun and you just want to flagellate yourself playing Blasphemous 2 over and over again.
I beat every boss in that game in like 25 seconds. The boss battles don't last long at all. The thing I remember about that game is the locations, like the prefab,
the level design is
factory and stuff. Yeah, that shit's memorable. I don't remember anything about the bosses.
And so going for hunting for the helmet trophies. That's good use of the traversal mechanics, way better than anything in Halo Infinite. We're really selling Evan on Halo Infinite.
Well, congratulations.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are.
Well, congratulations to Resident Evil Village. Hopefully people go play it, because I would say it's a better first-person shooter than even Halo Infinite. And gentlemen, on that note,
we're out. Fun times.
Right.
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking about it. Titanfall 2 is a much better first-person shooter than Halo Infinite.
They should just start doing series then. Instead of Bungie or 343.
Yeah. Or they just.
Well, they're owned by EA now, though.
Yeah, Respawner.